Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be the last of the ones during the international break. With tomorrow being Thursday, we're going to get back to previewing the Hearts game on Saturday and looking a wee bit further ahead to the Champions League game against Slovan Bratislava the following Wednesday. But today's video is going to be looking at Celtic's best 11 going into the Champions League game a week today against Slovan Bratislava. Home game at Celtic Park. Home game I think Celtic should be looking to win and getting off their 24-25 Champions League campaign with a confident win, leading into the two very, very tricky, most difficult away fixtures against Dortmund and Atalanta that will follow. Before we do crack on with the wee video looking at what I think Celtic's best 11 is for the Champions League and beyond, just a wee suggestion, encouragement, reminder, if you are new to the channel and not yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button. Tantalisingly close to the 1,000 subscriber barrier level. It would be wonderful to reach that in time for the first Champions League game a week today. If you do like the video, please do click that like button and comment section open for your own suggestions as to what Celtic's best 11 is going into that game, and any other Celtic issues and any other topics raised in this video. So my own thought for what would be Celtic's best 11 now follows. We're going to do it in a wee pictorial fashion, and then after that we'll have a wee discussion regarding each of the positions. I think some of the positions are pretty clear who the first choice is. I think there are a few where there is some debate over which player should get the nod and which player should be on the bench as the backup. So this would be my starting 11. My best starting 11 would be Kasper Schmeichel in goal. I don't think there's any debate as to who Celtic's number one is. And Viljami Sinisalo would be the goalkeeper on the bench, with Scott Bain as goalkeeper number 3. Right back, I think there's no real debate. I think there is no real debate again for right back. I think Alistair Johnston's clearly our best right back. Right side of centre back, again, I don't think there's any debate within any of the fans. Cameron Carter-Vickers clearly is our best central defender. Left centre back, now I think that is the first of the positions where there is a definite debate to be had. Liam Scales had a particularly good game against Rangers. I think he was one of Celtic's best players that day. He looked quite assured. He and Carter-Vickers did dovetail very well that day. I still think there are deficiencies in Liam Scales' abilities. I think he is a wee bit slow. I think he's a wee bit dithery on the ball. I think he is quite a vulnerability for high balls to the back post, where he and Greg Taylor are defending things. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Austin Trusty. Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers have played together in American squad matches. They've been together quite a number of times. And I think Austin Trusty is a bigger defender, stronger defender. He's fast. I think he's a naturally left-sided centre back, and so will work well with Carter Vickers. And I think the two will dovetail very well as a partnership, much the same as Carter Vickers and Carol Starfelt did before. Another position I think for which there is a 50-50 debate. I've personally gone for Greg Taylor in this case. Again, I thought he played well against Rangers just before the international break. I think he's actually looked more assured, more confident this season than he did at parts of last season. I think his greater experience and the fact that he's played at the highest international level and played at the Champions League level would get him the start, at least at the start of the Champions League. I think he and Alex Valley are likely to be alternating at left back thereafter, and I think maybe after the first Champions League match and a few league matches to follow, Brendan Rodgers will then decide whether to keep going with Greg Taylor as number one or start to bring in Alex Valley as his number one left back. But for me, for the game against Slovan Bratislava in 7 days' time, we go with Greg Taylor on the left. Don't think there's any real debate regarding which are our best midfield three. We're going to have Callum McGregor in that number 6 role, the slightly more defensive midfield role. Although I think against Slovan Bratislava, if all goes well, he can push further and further up the pitch, as he has been doing in Scottish football so far this season. Rio Hatate in the number 8 role, and Arnie Engels, our new Belgian signing, as the number 10 role, although I think Hatate and Engels can interchange. I think both can drop back to be more conventional central midfielders. I think both can also track back if required to be more defensive. And I think those three midfielders can be quite fluid depending on the match situation and depending whether Celtic are trying to push for a goal to get the lead or are looking to be that wee bit more defensive to protect the lead late on. On the right side, I think there could be some debate between Nicholas Kuhn and James Forrest. I think, however, Nicholas Kuhn has started the season exceedingly well. He's been involved with a lot of Celtic's 12 league goals so far this season. He's had a couple of goals himself. He's shown much better ability and much better pace, I think, up and down the wing. He tracks back well into midfield. He does cut in nicely into the box to look to shoot or set up other players. And so I'm going to go for Nicholas Kuhn on the right. I think James Forrest, very capable deputy and a good player to bring on later in the game. And I can see James Forrest being a wee bit of a super sub for Celtic, maybe coming on if we need to inject a bit more pace, a bit more directness, and or needing to hit the byline, which Forrest is better at doing than Kuhn. On the left, I don't think there's any real debate. Dyson Maida is clearly our best left-sided forward in a wide role, winger role, and again, much like Kuhn, this season he's been cutting in nicely into the box to score, set up people. He scored a great goal against Rangers just before the break. He set up Rio Hatate really nicely against St Mirren, and I think a very fit, active, positive thinking Dyson Maida could be a very strong weapon for us in the Champions League, as his pace and his industry and his hard work all are massive beneficial factors for Celtic. And if he has his scoring boots on and his crossing boots on, I think he could be an extremely powerful left-sided attacking option for Celtic. Central striker, centre forward. I think there could be a wee bit of debate regarding Adam Ida and Kyogo. I've gone for Kyogo again. He's got European experience. He's scored internationally. He's scored a ton of goals for Celtic. He scored in the Champions League for us and scored for us in Europe. And I think he has that wee bit more dynamism. He's got the ability also, better than Ida, to pressurise the back four, pressurise the goalkeeper, to slow down distribution from the goalkeeper in the back four of the opposition. That does leave Celtic with, I think, also quite a number of strong options coming off the bench. Going to go for Viljami Sinisalo as our backup goalkeeper. We then look at the fact we've got two good wide players to bring on, Forrest and Luis Palma. We have Adam Ida as our second striker, either to come on to replace Kyogo, come on to work with Kyogo as a 1-2 punch. So I think Adam Ida is a very flexible option coming off the bench. We've got Paulo Bernardo and Luke McCowan, both of whom can play in the attacking midfield and the central midfield roles. Some good backups from those two. We've got Liam Scales, given the fact I've gone for Austin Trusty, covers left back, centre back, and can cover the defensive midfield role. We've also got the option, I think, of either Anthony Ralston or Welsh on the bench, both of whom can cover right back, both of whom can cover centre back. Alpha Johnson can also cover centre back, and I think you'll probably go for one of Welsh or Ralston rather than using Navrocki. And I think also they're going to go for Alex Valley on the bench to be a backup left back. I think also Valley does have the ability to push a wee bit further forward, play a left wing back or even left sided midfield role. I think Celtic do have quite a number of good substitutes to bring on to change the game, either to push for a further goal, to hold on to a lead, or to turn a draw into a win late on. Would be really keen to see what you feel yourselves, so do pop your own thoughts regarding Celtic's best 11 into the comment section. Add any extra comments as to why you think one player is better than others, or any areas where my team of 11 needs amended. I'm always very happy and open for debate, discussion amongst like-minded Celtic fans. No real extra news coming out of Celtic as of mid-early morning on Wednesday today. It would appear that all our players who were away on international duty, who had games last night, our time or overnight our time, all appear to have come through. Luis Palma did play for Honduras, played the whole 90 minutes. Viljami Sinisalo was on the bench for Finland against England. Austin Trusty was on the bench for America against New Zealand. And our two Japanese players, Daisen Maeda and Ryo Hatate, were unused against Bahrain in Japan's heavy 5-0 win in Bahrain in the World Cup qualifiers. So the only player who really seems to have had a potential injury in the international break has been Alistair Johnston. The Canadian manager said it was more precautionary that he came off at the weekend with his hamstring tightness. There's not been any further update as yet from Celtic or Alistair Johnston, but I do think that will be something that Brendan Rodgers will cover in his Friday press conference once Johnston's had a full assessment with the physios and medical staff, and maybe had a wee run out on the training pitches at Lennoxtown for a couple of days as well. So I would expect all of the players who've been overseas to be flying back into Scotland as we speak. All of them should then be back at Lennoxtown for Thursday. I would expect that a few of them, such as the Japanese players, Luis Palma and Austin Trusty, might well have a light session on Thursday and then get back into full training on Friday, as there will be a degree of jet lag for them having transatlantic flights. So, just to finish off, just a wee polite reminder for those new to the channel who have not yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button so we can get past 1,000 in time for Slovan Bratislava. If you do like the video, please do click that like button. It does help YouTube spread the video further and further. And as I mentioned a wee bit earlier, delighted to see what your own thoughts are regarding Celtic's best 11, any changes you would make to my 11 that I've suggested today, and also any other burning Celtic issues. Do pop those into the comment section, keeping things, if we can, pleasant, polite, as part of discussion and debate amongst Celtic fans and football fans. And so until tomorrow's video, which will be starting to look at the Hearts match on Saturday, goodbye and hail, hail.